Hello everyone. So this time I already did my Game Boy, I already did my Game Boy Color. This time we're gonna do my Game Boy Advance because I'm looking through the Game Boy Advance games and I'm trying to, you know, pinpoint which games to keep, which games to sell, which games to emulate, stuff like that. So let's start off with Cars. So this is a bizarre game. Um, First off, I gotta admit I love I love the cover. I've always loved that kind of grainy looking thing that the Cars logo has, and I only really did it for Cars 1. Um, but this is a so the console game was more of a standard driving game. This is a top-down like almost kart racer, where it's got like sharp turns and your car moves really really fast, and you have speed ups and slow downs and stuff like that. It's a very odd game. Plays nothing like um, the console game, but weirdly enough, a lot of the cutscenes have the exact same voice lines from the console games. It's really weird. I don't like it very much. A little bit annoying. Next up is Cartoon Network Block Party and Cartoon Network Speedway. Cartoon Network Block Party is a terrible, terrible party game. Just terrible mini games, terrible level layouts. The music's good. That's the only thing it has going for it. The music's good. However, Cartoon Network Speedway is a pretty fun game. I really like Cartoon Network Speedway. I've been playing that for years, and I always love it. But this cartridge, this double pack, is very nostalgic. I used to own this on my original DS Lite. So there's that. Then we've got Chicken Little. This game is okay. It's a decent a decent little like platformer with some annoying levels. So yeah, it's okay. But something where I'll probably just end up emulating it. Then we got Crash Bandicoot 2 Entranced. This is a pretty neat game. I like the Huge Adventure, so I bought this. It was it was cheap, $12.99. And yeah, it's a pretty fun game. So far, I'm liking it a bit more because I really like the variety in this game. Then we've got Danny Phantom, The Ultimate Enemy. This game is kind of knocked down for being a very generic beat 'em up, and it is. But I find it fun, and yeah. Hey Arnold, the movie. This is another game that's kind of knocked down for some bad platforming, and yeah, I will admit the platforming is not the greatest. But you know what? I've had a lot of fun with this game. This is one that I used to play a lot at school on like GBA websites. I have a lot of fun with that game. Hi Hi Puffy Ami Yumi Kaznapped. If you've seen Let's Play this, you know that I do like this game quite a lot. I think it's a lot of fun. I love Hi Hi Puffy Ami Yumi, so it's cool that they made a game of it, and it's cool that the game's really fun too. So, nice all around. Madagascar. This game's pretty cool. I really like Madagascar on GBA. It's just it's just a pretty fun platformer with some really good music, and yeah. Naruto Ninja Council 2. This was a game that I used to own a while back. Actually, come to think of it, it just now reminded me, this was one of the games I got with my original GBA. When I mentioned on the last video where I got a lot of Game Boy games, this was one of the GBA games that I got with the GBA original, and it's a pretty fun beat 'em up. Pretty fun. Has some weird music though. Nicktoons Attack of the Toy Bots. This is not that good of a game. It's well, the levels are kind of annoying. They go on for a really long time, and it's just a super basic beat 'em up. Not a ton of fun. DS version's great though. Nicktoons Battle for Volcano Island. This game's awesome. I love the platforming here. I love the music. Music's really great. And yeah, just a ton of fun. Nicktoons Freeze Frame Frenzy. So this is a very strange game. It is a Nicktoons game where you just take pictures of stuff. And that's all you do. It is a very weird idea for a game. But it is kind of neat. You go through worlds. You go through like the Fairly Odd Parents world and the SpongeBob world. and you just find misplaced characters. That's like the big goal of the game. So you'll be walking along, and there's Jenny from My Life as a Teenage Robot, and then you'll be walking along, and there's Otto. He's not supposed to be there, or not Otto, but Reggie. She's not supposed to be there. You know, so it's just stuff like that, and it's a pretty neat game. Probably will just emulate it, but pretty neat. Nicktoons a lot of Nicktoons games. Nicktoons Racing. This is pretty cool. Much better than the Game Boy Color version. Has a lot of characters. The races are pretty cool. Music's all right. Like definitely a massive improvement from the Game Boy Color version. Rayman Advance. This is a very poor man's version of Rayman. The music is very tinny, and the screen is super shrunken. But you know, if it's the only version of Rayman that you have to play, it's an okay version of Rayman. It's actually the version that I played a lot for the longest time. And then we've got SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom. This is a pretty neat puzzle platformer, but nothing super special. It does get kind of tiring after a little while. Shrek 2. This one is pretty notable because it's the one where Shrek goes, okay, whenever you select him. And Shiny Ocelot did a stream on this last year. Or was it this year? No, it was last year. It's a pretty alright game. Pretty alright puzzle platformer. Sonic Advance 3. This is by far my least favorite in the Advance trilogy, but it was the cheapest. Advance 1 is like $50 and Advance 2 is like $45. This one was only $25, so yeah, I'll deal with it for $25. This one has some really awesome music, though. Not as good as Sonic Advance 2, but still really good. Level design's kind of annoying, though. Sonic Battle. This game's flipping awesome. I've spent so many hours in this just playing singular battles, just mashing that B button and hearing the awesome music. Really fun. Then we got the SpongeBob movie game. Definitely a different game from the console game, but this one's actually developed by WayForward, and it's pretty neat. It's got some annoying level design. There's some insta-death stuff that is just really annoying, but for the most part, it's actually pretty cool, and the music's really good too. Teen Titans. This is a decent little platformer. It's one that I have a lot of nostalgia with because I had this on my original DS Lite so many years ago. This was one that I had, and it's a pretty neat platformer. Ooh, and here's a dual pack. We got The Incredibles and Finding Nemo. What is that? I don't know. It's really hard to see. The Continuing Adventures. Okay, Finding Nemo, The Continuing Adventures. I mainly bought this for The Incredibles, which is a decent little beat 'em up. I've never played the Finding Nemo game. But yeah, I mainly bought this because, when I was looking on Luki Games, The Incredibles just standalone cartridge was around the same price. So I was like, I'll just go and buy this. I think it was actually cheaper to buy this dual pack. So who knows? Maybe the Finding Nemo game will be good. The Powerpuff Girls Him and Seek. It's okay. Honestly, sadly, probably one of the best Powerpuff Girls games because the bar is so low. You've got a lot of really bad games. It's an okay, just kind of fetch quest game. Most of the game is just a fetch quest with some very basic battle moments. It's okay. VeggieTales Larry Boy and the Bad Apple. Yeah, they made a game based off this movie. It's the only VeggieTales game. The PS2 version is an action platformer. This one is more in line with Mario vs. Donkey Kong, the GBA one. So kind of neat. You play as a little tiny Larry Boy, and you do like little Mario vs. Donkey Kong style missions. Tom and Jerry, The Magic Ring. I bought this because it was $6, and from what I've heard, I kind of bought this on a whim. There wasn't a lot of GBA games to choose from, and it was this or Narnia, and I knew I saw that in the store, and I'm like, I am just gonna guess Narnia is a top-down adventure game, and it was, and I really don't like top-down adventure games, so I picked Tom and Jerry: The Magic Ring. Turns out this is a 25-minute long brutally challenging beat 'em up, so I'm probably not going to enjoy that. Tasmanian Tiger 2, Bush Rescue. This looks pretty neat. I haven't played it yet, but it looks like a pretty fun platformer. And I like Tasmanian Tiger 4, so I might like this. And then finally, X-Men, the official game? Is it X3, the official game? I'm not totally sure, but it is fun. I played a little bit of it, and it's cool. So that's it. That is my GBA... Of course, not counting Game Boy Advance video. Ooh, actually, I'll do a little bonus. I got the Yu-Gi-Oh! Game Boy Advance. This was... I didn't have this on my when I did my Game Boy Advance video, but I got it. I got the Yu-Gi-Oh! One. Yes! Here. There you go. There's my Game Boy Advance video library. You've already seen it before. I already did a video on it, so there's no point going into it. But, yeah, there you go.